Look, let's stop pretending. You're out here trying to be some high ticket entrepreneur and you're listening to all these people on YouTube talk about why you should sell this expensive stuff, but you haven't even mastered how to sell a $7 product. You're out here trying to sell some coaching program for thousands of dollars when your cousin won't even listen to you for free. You're skipping the part where you learn to sell to strangers consistently. And that's where low ticket comes in. And look, this isn't some petty debate. This is a war. Low ticket versus high ticket is really about freedom versus fantasy. And I'm not telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know, because I've made over 7 figures online in my business with just one digital product doing a little over 900K. And that digital product, I sold it for only 40 bucks. So in this video, I'm gonna break down why low ticket is the real play if you want scalable income, loyal buyers, and a business that doesn't collapse if one client ghosts you. High ticket is seductive, but it's a facade. It makes you feel like a boss. Oh, just charge your worth and you only need 5 clients to make $10,000 a month. Or just increase your prices and you only need 1 client to make $10,000 a month. Like, yeah, it sounds all good and dandy until you check your bank account and it says pending payment for 5 straight weeks. And it's only gonna take me about 5 minutes to break down this whole facade of this whole high ticket coaching space. So if you don't have 5 minutes to spare, then you're just gonna end up like Dorothy and get to the end of the yellow brick road to realize that the Wizard of Oz ain't real, or in my preferred version, the Wiz. So if you don't have 5 minutes to spare, then just go ahead and ease on down the road like Diana Ross and Michael Jackson. And The Wiz is just a better version if you haven't seen it, because where else can you see Michael Jackson be the Scarecrow? But look, first I have to differentiate the differences between low ticket and high ticket and what it is that I mean by high ticket. So I consider anything over $1,000 to be considered a high ticket product. So these are typically going to be some high ticket course or some type of high ticket cohort that has the course with some aspect of coaching with it, right? And a lot of people, they want to get into the high ticket space because they think that charging higher prices will mean more money, because they're listening to people that say to sell some expensive stuff. But the late great philosopher, the notorious B.I.G., otherwise known as Biggie Smalls, but his mama called him Christopher, he once said, more money, more problems, right? And here's the secret behind the whole high ticket space that you can't see. High ticket for most people means sending out cold DMs all day, cold emails all day, sales calls that feel like hostage negotiations, chargebacks because somebody's cousin told them that your course was on YouTube for free, or chargebacks because somebody is underwhelmed by the product that they receive for what they spent so much money on. And the constant fear of refunds ruining your entire month, let alone ruining your entire business, because these people's payment processes get shut down because of the amount of refunds that they get. That's why certain people will only take a deposit on a card and then they require the rest to be a wire, because they don't want the possibility of a refund, and then you can't charge back or get a refund from a wire. Like, once that thing's done, it's done. And you end up building a business that's built on pressure, not process, not product, but pressure. And that's not a business plan, that's a burnout plan. Let alone from that, all these guys, they never talk about the money that they actually collected. They just talk about their revenue totals. And I never understood that. And that's a big thing that all these guys do. And I never realized that until I paid a high ticket. I paid about $50,000 to join a mastermind to learn all this stuff. And then I highly learned that I don't want to do any of this stuff, and all of you guys are bonkers, because all that they want to do is talk about their revenue numbers so they can get more customers to just get more revenue, but they're not profiting that much money. And they're going out here and they're teaching a whole bunch of people to run their businesses into the ground. So somebody, they'll sit here and they'll say like, yeah, I had $100,000 day, or I had $100,000 week, or $100,000 month, or $1 million day, because I know certain people that have had $1 million days. And to the person that has no clue about how the business runs behind the scenes, they'd be like, oh man, I want to do that. He made $1 million in a day. He made $100,000 in a day. He made $1 million in a month. They made $250,000 in a month. Like, yeah, I want to do that. Sign me up. But they're just talking about their revenue. They're not ever talking about the cash that they actually collected. So in the high ticket space, how this stuff typically goes is that majority of people really can't afford the offers that they sell. So they put the people on payment plans. They'll take a deposit and then the rest of it, they'll put it on a payment plan. So if they're selling something for $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, they'll take a $1,000 to $2,000 down payment. Most people, they don't want to take more than that as a down payment. Why? Because then their payment processors and the banks and stuff, they'll start to question that transaction. Because people, they're not just swiping their cards every day for $5, $10, $15, $20,000 in. You can charge back that. So they'll take a little deposit. Then after that, they'll take payment plans. Well, guess what? After they host these events or something to build this emotion up into somebody to where they're excited about their purchase, after a while, that level of excitement, it fades out and they get to reality, and then they start to see what they bought for what it is. And if they haven't paid in full, once they see the BS that a lot of these people's products are, they want to back out of it, and then they disappear. So that person never really gets the money that they collected from those people. But then in all their marketing and on their YouTube videos and stuff and on their ads, they talk about all this money that they made. Like, no, that's a revenue. That wasn't profit. And other people, I'm not going to name any names, but other people that are very, very popular in the space, or that you may even watch, and my YouTube analytics shows me who you watch, so you might be watching some of these people. But some of these people, they even have other people take out debt to buy their stuff because they can't afford their stuff. There are companies that give out loans to buy coaching programs. There's a lot of people out here that might be your favorite guru that are telling people to pull out equity in their home to buy their products. They're telling them to put a second mortgage on their house to buy their coaching program. This is stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you have no clue that's happening, yet you aspire to do similar things. Because these people, they don't tell you the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. They don't tell you how the hot dog's made. They just put it on the plate and just hand it to you and let you eat it. And then outside of that, they're not talking about the high costs in advertising that they have to do. So one of the reasons why these people have to charge a high ticket is because they're spending so much in paid advertising. So in order to make their ads profitable, they are forced to charge a high amount because they don't know how to make content and they don't really know how to get in front of their audience. And that's why they always have to have all these complicated funnels. That's why they always have to have all these complicated email sequences. That's why they always have to have some type of coaching call for you to get on the coaching call, but it's just a sales call. And guess what? With all them sales calls, they are paying salespeople. So people, they don't see all of the mechanics and the workings behind all of these high ticket coaching businesses. They don't see the cost in advertisement. Plus, they're most likely paying an agency, a media buyer on top of that, which on the low end, if you're getting somebody that's fairly decent, they're probably charging at least $2,000 to $3,000 per month, plus a percentage of either the profits or a percentage of the spend. So they're not talking about that. They're not talking about the cost of advertisement that goes into that. They're not talking about the sales team that they have that's taking all of the phone calls. And they're not talking about any of the chargebacks that they're getting. And they're not talking about the money that they did not collect. They're just talking about the revenue. I'm telling you, it's all backwards. Some years ago, one of the #1 guys that was teaching all these people to get into this high ticket space, he made over $30 million, only profited about $1 million. I'm telling you, it is crazy, but nobody that love and adore this man to this day know that. They just think like, oh man, he's out here making all these millions and millions and millions of dollars. I'm telling you, it makes no sense to make 35 or $36 million and only take away $1 million in profit. It makes absolutely no sense. And a lot of these other people that are out here telling you that they've made $10 million and they made all this $10 million in the high ticket space. Well, would you want to have a $10 million business if you really only walked away with like $700,000? No. Other people, $1 million entrepreneur. Would you want to be $1 million business owner if you only walked away with $150,000, $200,000, if that? Like, no, it sounds good. It looks good for vanity metrics' sake, but on the back end, what is the business really looking like? I would much rather have a $300,000 business that I walk away with $270,000 than to have $1 million business that makes $250,000 just to say that I'm a 7-figure business owner. Like, what are we doing it for? And this whole entrepreneur space online, like, so many people are blinded by just vanity metrics. Like, what are you doing it for? You get in business to make money. You don't get in business to just say that you made money that doesn't exist. And it's the same thing with the following count. Like, so many people are worried about how many followers and how many subscribers they have, but they're not worried about how many dollars that they're making. Like, followers and subscribers do not equal dollars. You got it backwards. words. And that's why I like the low ticket space. Now, to some, it may come off as a little more humble or whatever they want to say, but it's deadly effective. It forces you to learn real skills like offer creation, sales psychology, conversion copy, and lifetime value stacking. And here's the thing that nobody really wants to admit out here on the internet. It's easier to get 1,000 people to pay you $50 than to get 10 people to pay you 5,000. And none of these high ticket guys, they'll say that, but I'm telling you, it's much more easier because look, they'll sit there and they'll tell you like, oh, well, it's way easier to get 10 people to pay you $5,000 than to get 1,000 people to pay you $50. Like, it's way easier. But they're not telling you that in order to get those 10 people to pay them $5,000, they have to host a 5-day challenge or something like that. You see all these people running these challenges. So they have to sit there and they have to run a 5-day challenge. So then somebody else that doesn't know how the business works, they'll see other people running challenges and then they'll say, well, oh, I need to run a challenge. Then they wonder why they don't have the same success in their challenge as somebody else had. Well, that other person that's telling you how easy it is to get those people to buy something from a challenge, they're not telling you about the tens of thousands of dollars that they spent in advertising to get those people to the challenge. And then they're not telling you about the sales calls that they have their sales teams doing and following up with after that challenge. That doesn't sound that easy, but it sounds easy to somebody that's oblivious to it and believes in the Wizard of Oz. That same person will tell you that it's easier to get 10 people to buy something off of a webinar, but they don't tell you about all the things that they had to do in order to get people to go into that webinar. They're not talking about the advertisement that they spent on getting the people into the free webinar. They're not talking about the tens of thousands of dollars that they spent to be interviews on your favorite podcast. These people, they're not friends on these podcasts. These people, they've paid people to promote and market themselves on that podcast, and then they just all look buddy-buddy. These people on these podcasts, they don't know each other. A podcast that I'm very, very sure you're familiar with, I'm not gonna say any names here, but they charge over $10,000 just to be on their podcast, and they have a 50-50 affiliate split with the guests that are on their podcast. I'm not sure what they charge now, but I know as of maybe a couple years ago, they were charging to be on the podcast plus 50% affiliate link to whatever it is that they were pushing, which typically they were pushing people to some type of webinar or to some type of challenge. And then that person front facing will sit there and tell you how easy it is to get 10 people to buy something for $5,000, more so than selling something for $50 to 1,000 people. And then people go out and try to do this stuff when they have no marketing skills, no team, no money, no nothing, and then they wonder why they can't get it to work for them. But they'll just eat up all the people's content and they just stay getting motivated and inspired. Well, guess what? You can't make any money with motivation and inspiration. It's just a feeling, it's just an emotion, and it fades. And that sales psychology that you learn when you learn how to sell stuff for low ticket, because people only buy stuff that they feel like buying, and all this stuff is just sales psychology to get people to feel an emotion, to feel motivation and feel inspiration, to where they feel inspired and motivated to buy something. That's why you need to have these long events, so you can spend more time with people to culture up a feeling within that online space to buy. It's basic sales psychology that has been being done since the beginning of time. It's no different than church, right? You go to church, it's the same thing. They build up an emotion to whereas at the end, they have a calling to come to the altar. Same thing with these online events, these webinars, these challenges and whatnot to sell this high ticket stuff. Same thing happens in person at marketing conferences and whatnot. You see, they all have a coming to the stage moment, or in the online challenge webinar or whatnot, people are going to tell people to announce that they purchased whatever, because people, they have a herd mentality. So once somebody sees that other people are joining, then they'll want to join too. But guess what? The unethical people, they can manufacture that in the online space, and they can manufacture that in the physical space also, because they have people that haven't even purchased anything, just making comments that they just purchased within the chat to culture up some more feelings and emotions and that herd mentality that just all people naturally have to follow. I'm telling you, it's a dirty, nasty industry out there that you have no clue that's going on. But when you learn how to sell low ticket and you actually learn how to sell something, if you do decide to charge high ticket for something later, you'll actually know how to sell that. You'll be able to do it ethically, and you'll have a pool of people that have already had a good experience with you from the stuff that they've already purchased from you, that they'll be more than willing to buy your more expensive stuff. But you need to learn low ticket first, because low ticket, it removes friction, and friction kills sales. So with low ticket, you learn how to basically just sell easy with no pressure. You learn how to make funnels that are viral for you. And when I say viral for you, I don't mean like in the true sense of virality, because in order to be a successful entrepreneur, you don't need or want to go viral, because typically that means that you have to cast a wide net, right? Whereas any successful business, it's very, very targeted, right? Even outside of the online space. McDonald's, huge business. Well, starting off McDonald's, they just sold burgers, fries, and shakes. Like, it took a while for them to start adding chicken sandwiches and the cafes and all the stuff that they have now, right? You got to become a specialist first. Alex Hormozi, probably the biggest guy in the business world right now, right? Like, first he started off just talking about gyms and helping gym owners. But when I say a funnel that is viral for you, I actually mean viral for you. Like, it starts to become shareable, because people, they share low ticket stuff. People become what I like to call an evangelist for you, right? An evangelist is just somebody that got a transformation and they go and they spread the word. This stuff happens with low ticket products. And you can pretty much get instant validation, because you can put something together and get it out into the marketplace within a quick manner, to where you can get some feedback to see what it is that you need to work on with your offer. Is it selling? Is it not selling? What is it that I need to work on to get better conversions? You can get that data and feedback back way quicker. And you can build an army of buyers, not just followers. Look, one sale, that's a transaction, but thousands of sales, that's a movement. And I prefer low ticket just because of basic human nature and just the psychology of price. So look, people, they'll spend 7, 15, 20 bucks on Starbucks without a thought. They'll drop 15, 20 bucks on Netflix, 15, 20, 35, 40 bucks, 50 bucks on DoorDash. But then you ask them for $5,000 on a sales call, and then all of a sudden people need to think about it, or they need to talk to their spouse. But low ticket, it slips under the radar. It walks right past the skeptical brain. And when someone buys for 50 bucks or 37 bucks or 25 bucks or 7 bucks or even $1, they've made a commitment. Psychologically, whether they realize it or not, they've made a commitment, and you have just turned a stranger into a customer, and that changes everything. Because the next time you launch something, you're not begging people to buy it, you're selling to a buyer's list. People that have already said yes, and this is a strategy that I do also in just building an email list. I'm not the biggest fan of giving out the freebies to build an email list. I'm like, I don't want a big email list of free people, but I'll sell something low ticket to build an email list off of that, to whereas I have an email list 100% full of buyers. They've already made a commitment psychologically that they're a buyer. And also through that process, I'm mentally conditioning them that they have to buy stuff from me, not that they will just get everything for free from me all the time. And it's different when you're marketing to people that have already said yes. That's why selling low ticket is not playing small. It's building momentum with minimum resistance, and momentum builds movements. And scaling with low ticket, that's where it gets real. Because once your low ticket offer starts converting, you can implement it into a funnel, or what I like to call a system, SYSTEM, saving yourself time, energy, and money, right? You can implement it into this system, which is going to be a sales funnel, to where you can make more while working less and getting your time back. Because you can add up sales, you can add down sales, you can add cross sales, and you can promote it on autopilot and literally wake up every single morning to sales while you're just sitting there sipping some ginger tea with some raw honey or some hot lemon water, like I prefer to do. And low ticket unlocks automated cash flow, evergreen campaigns, affiliate partnerships, and a list of proven buyers who trust you. Compare that to high ticket, where if your closer quits, or if your Stripe account freezes, or if your Facebook ads account gets shut down, then you are toast. Like, your business is done. Low ticket is resilient, high ticket is fragile, and if you build it right, low ticket can be the foundation for everything else. And this isn't any theory, this is a war-tested strategy. Like, I learned this stuff in the trenches. So just take me for an example. Like, take one of my $47 products. Matter of fact, let me grab my whiteboard. So take one of my digital products that I used to sell for 47 bucks, right? And no, this product is not available anymore. The only people that have access to it are people that previously bought it and people within my community. I have it their house for them for learning purposes, and I teach them all the strategies behind it, right? Links down in the description if you want to tap in. But I used to sell this product for $47. It took me about 3 hours to create. I made about $10,000 on the first day of the launch with no ads, no sales team, just my system and a Stripe account. Now, I made that much because I had upsells, downsells, order bumps within this actual funnel. So yes, this was my core offering, but I had something called an order bump available. So an order bump is going to be some no-brainer item that goes hand in hand with your core offering. So if you're going to Chick-fil-A for a chicken sandwich, think of an order bump to be the fries and the drink. And this is just regular, typical business stuff. Like, this isn't just online business stuff. Like, if you're aware, you'll see this stuff happening in every single business or establishment that you go to, spend money with. Whether you buy products or get services from, it's the same thing. I go to the movies often. The core product is the movie ticket. Well, guess what? The order bump is my popcorn and the drink. And guess what? A percentage of people will take that order bump. I believe in this particular funnel, I had 2 order bumps, but they were about, I believe one was $20 and the other one was $25. But a percentage of people that came from my core product will take this order bump. Then after that, within my funnel, I had something called an OTO, which stands for one-time offer. So this is going to be some type of upsell. And in anything in business too, what do? They upsell you. So even if I use Chick-fil-A as an example, when you go and get that chicken sandwich and then you get the order bump of the fries and the shake, when they present it to you as a value meal, what's the first thing that they do after that? They say, would you like that in a medium or a large? You don't even think that small is an option anymore. So they automatically upsell 100% of their customers. Some people, they'll just say, oh, I'll take that in a medium. Just got more money out of them. Some people, they'll say, oh, I'll take that in a large. Just got more money out of them. Well, guess what? I do the same thing. So I have a one-time offer, but you can only get this deal right now if you say yes right now. So my upsell on this particular product was one of my courses. Well, guess what? A percentage of people took that course. I can't recall off the top of my head how much I charged for this product, but knowing me, it was probably around like $400 or maybe like in the $300 to $400 range, right? Guess what? A percentage of people took that offer. So I just got an extra $300 to $400 from somebody that initially came into my ecosystem to just spend about $50, right? Well, for the percentage of people that declined that, guess what? I downsell them the same exact offer at a significant discount. But the only people that see this are people that declined my upsell. So, hey, you didn't want this for $400, but right now, if you take advantage right now, this one-time offer, you can get it for $200. Huge discount. Or sometimes I may even like slash the prices lower than that because it's all just extra money, right? And this is a digital product that doesn't cost me any more to fulfill it. So this is just all extra money, right? So I don't mind slashing prices on a down sale because I would much rather take half of a watermelon than 100% of a grape. There's so many people out here that aren't making the money that they could make because they want everything. They want the 100% of the grape. I'm like, all right, I'll just take half of this watermelon and just have a bigger piece out here, right? But downselling the same exact thing. So say that this was for $400, right? I may downsell it right here for $200. So I just got an extra $200 from that person that initially came into my ecosystem to spend $50 or $47, right? So I do this bare minimum on all of my low ticket digital products. Now with this particular funnel, it got a little bit more advanced because I had a second one-time offer with a second down sale before they got to my thank you page. And then on my thank you page, I was actually still selling on the thank you page because I then offered them to come into a continuity program to where they were paying for something each and every single month, which was my membership, right? So I was still selling on my thank you page. But this system right here and where I got this from, if I just put like some little framing around this here, it may start to look familiar to you, right? This is just like IKEA. Have you ever been to the furniture store, IKEA? Well, IKEA, right? they get you into the door, and typically you come to IKEA looking for a particular thing. But then once IKEA gets you in here, they basically force you one way. They have control over your customer journey, and then they show you every other product that they have available within their suite. So I haven't been to IKEA for a while, but last time that I did go, I went to get a cowhide rug for my living room. Well, guess what? I walked out with plates, spoons, bowls, cups. I would have walked out with a trash can because at the time I was looking for a little motion sensor joint because I sat down and I dined in Chick-fil-A one day because I wanted some ice cream. It was hot. I'm like, I'm not about to be eating and licking this ice cream in the car and have it be dripping all over myself, right? So I sat down in Chick-fil-A one day and I saw that they had motion censored trash cans. I was like, that's fly, that's dope. I need that for the crib. And I would have got one from IKEA, but they didn't have the motion sensor joints. So I had all that stuff, and then I got my cowhide rug, right? Because the psychology of a buyer is that the best time to sell something to somebody is while they're already shopping or immediately after they purchase something. So I use that same psychology here in my low ticket digital product funnels. And guess what? If it works for IKEA, it'll work for you too. And then guess what? Later on down the line, I did have something a little higher ticketed available, but guess what? I reached out to these people that bought here and here. And then I had a pool of people that had a great experience with me that were willing to pay the thousands of dollars that I charged at the time for my high ticket product or my high ticket offer that I put together. And it was easy. Didn't have to do any sales calls or high pressure sales calls. Nobody had to think about it or talk it over with somebody. They just said, yeah, let's do it. But I don't do much high ticket. I don't like the fulfillment of it. And I much more enjoy my community. It's crowded at the top end. I like the coaching aspect that I have there, and I like talking to the members each and every single week on our calls every single weekend. Outside of that, they're able to message me. I'm within the community each and every single day. Like, I just enjoy that more. Like, my quality of life is much better doing that, and I literally wake up excited every single day about what I do each and every single day. I feel like a kid on Christmas morning. You know, remember when you were a kid and you were just like so antsy at night, and like every morning you woke up and you were like ready to run to the Christmas tree? Like, that's how I wake up every single morning now. I'm like, oh, let me get to work. Oh, let me help the members in my community. Like, I really love it, and I'm glad that I found this because it's something that I truly am passionate about. And I know what the real flex is. The real flex is freedom. The real flex is going to sleep whenever you want to go to sleep and waking up whenever you want to wake up without an alarm clock, and knowing that you made money overnight while you were asleep. With no client drama, no sales anxiety, no refund roulette, just real people buying real solutions. And the more you focus on actually creating low ticket solutions for people, the more high ticket people find you. That's the irony. You give more, you sell more, like all them that you see on the screen right now. And if you're ready to make more working less online from stuff that you already know, go ahead and click the link down in the description to join this Credit at the Top community. For weekly coaching from myself, all my exclusive trainings, plus a private community and entrepreneurs, all designed to grow your business online. It's only a few bucks a day to join right now, literally less than a cup of coffee per day. So click the link down in the description to tap in, and I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. But with this, you earn the right to charge more, but you never need to. And that's the difference. If you want to, you can, but you never need to. And that's what gives you power. All these other guys like painting all these dreams out there, they're giving the illusion of power. So the next time somebody tries to clown you for selling a low ticket digital product or tries to make you feel less than, just remember that they're begging strangers to hop on a 60-minute phone call. They're having chargeback and refund issues like crazy. They're getting Facebook ads accounts shut down, and they're really struggling because they're building a business that is dependent on paid advertising because they don't really know how to attract anybody. They're running sales teams that they have to pay these people, and at the end of the day, they're having all of these big numbers and they're showing their revenue, but they're never talking about any of the money that they actually do make. And these people are running terrible businesses that have all these vanity metrics to whereas they're only making like 20% margin, maybe 25% margin if they're good on an info business, when from an info business, you should be making like 80, 85, 90% plus profit margins. So stay focused, stay locked in, don't get distracted by the outside noise, and stay playing the long game and just focus on doing what you do. So go ahead and click the link down in the description and tap into the community. And I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. And go ahead and check out this video right here for a step-by-step blueprint to making 7 figures with a digital product. It's crowded at the top.